Everyone remembered Chumlee from Pawn Stars as the charming and humorous guy. He immediately won over fans with his carefree attitude and endearing quirks. However, a man was concealing a world of anguish behind his laughter. Although fame brought financial success, it also brought difficulties such as legal disputes, health problems, and personal tragedies. Even though he's only 42 years old, his real life is quite different from what played out on TV. The gravity of his decisions altered the course of events. Come with us as we investigate Chumlee's background, his ups and downs, and the reality of his current situation. The beginning of Chumlee's journey in a monumental event. In Henderson, Nevada, Austin Russell, better known by his stage name Chumlee, came into this world on September 8, 1982. He was given the moniker Chumlee at a young age. It struck him when he was about 12 years old. Chumlee from Tennessee Tuxedo was compared by one of his friend's parents like a cartoon walrus because of his large face and chin. The moniker became permanent in an instant. Chumlee and Corey Harrison were childhood pals. Rick and Richard Harrison, Corey's grandfather and father, had established a pawn store in Sin City in the year 1989. Unexpected ways would subsequently alter Chumlee's life as a result of that store. Upon reaching the age of 21, Chumlee began her employment there. As a regular employee, he helped with items, checked them, and wrote up tickets. That was his typical day for 5 years. Next, production on Pawn Stars' debut season commenced in 2009. At that point, the tide turned. Chumlee took a lot of heat on the show. The one who made a fool of himself and didn't always get it right was shown as him. Some even went so far as to label Chumlee the village fool, but that didn't deter him. He said that he was underappreciated. In one episode, he shocked everyone, especially Corey, by demonstrating his mastery of pinball machines. In that instant, Chumlee's fans saw that he was more than just a comedic jokester. In due time, Chumlee emerged as the show's breakout star. He was adored by all. His easygoing charisma set him apart. He decided to start his own business and sell branded merchandise after realizing how many people were interested in his work. Among the contestants, his items did the best in terms of sales. Half of his business was sold to Rick Harrison in 2010 for $155,000. Rick volunteered to assist with order management. Things ran more smoothly and profitably after that change. The shop wasn't Chumlee's only destination anymore. Later on, he began to guest on other shows as well. Along with Rick and Corey, he made an appearance on an iCarly episode at one point. In May 2017, he launched Chumlee's Candy on the Boulevard, directly across from the pawn store, thanks to his insatiable fan devotion. It was a lovely new phase in his story, but unseen struggles were beginning to mount. True function of Chumlee on Pawn Star. Even though Chumlee is primarily known to Pawn Star's viewers as the show's goofball, his significance in the pawn shop for precious metals was underappreciated. Real work, including testing products, creating purchase tickets, and assisting clients, was conducted by him behind the scenes. Years before the show ever aired, he began working there at the tender age of 21. Thus, Chumlee was already familiar with the shop by the time the first episode of Pawn Stars aired in 2009. But he was frequently shown as the comedic foil, or the village fool, in his cinematic roles. Yet, Chumlee wasn't completely ignorant. He was cast for the part, and he delivered. His unique skill sets were something that the majority of viewers were unaware of. Corey was taken aback by his extensive understanding of pinball machines in one episode. His sincerity shone through in that unexpected time. Truly, he was an expert in his field. Both Chumlee and the show's popularity skyrocketed. The breakout star, in fact, was he. His flair, one-liners, and easygoing demeanor were much beloved by his fans. He started his own merchandising store because of how popular he was. Everything from novelty goods to t-shirts to bobbleheads. Among the cast members, he had the highest sales volume for his products. Even more so, Chumlee sold Rick Harrison half of his business in 2010, that the store may assist with order processing for $155,000. That business move demonstrated Chumlee's excellent brand awareness and financial acumen. He was actually creating something, not merely kidding around. To that end, were you aware that Chumlee contributed to Pawn Star's ability to maintain its humor and entertainment value? Chumlee added personality and joy to the show while Rick and the others dwelt on serious negotiations and historical details. I could relate to him. He laughed at taunts, blunders, and failures. That, for many viewers, was what made him the show's protagonist. Pawn Stars changed and improved over the years, but Chumlee was always an integral aspect of the game. The program remained real, hilarious, and grounded because of him. No matter how popular the show became, viewers were constantly curious about Chumlee's, the guy behind the TV star, future plans. For as long as anyone can remember, Chumlee has been an enthusiastic and caring individual. He had a shoe collection, 20-plus pairs. He was an avid skateboarder, gamer, and Pokemon card collector. Also, music played a significant role in his life. He was a fan of rap and punk rock. Additionally, he enjoyed television shows such as Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, and Boardwalk Empire. He owned a 1986 Buick Regal equipped with hydraulic lifts, demonstrating his passion for vehicles. There was more to his car collection. In addition to finding love, Chumlee formerly owned a Maserati, a 1964 Impala SS, a Range Rover, a Cadillac Escalade, and a Rolls-Royce Phantom. After spending some time together as friends, he began dating Olivia Russell. They tied the knot in August of 2019 after being engaged in May of 2018. As soon as something out of the ordinary occurred, his fans were overjoyed. All of Olivia's images disappeared from Chumlee's Instagram in July 2020. A lot of people started to question what was happening. Olivia was a student at UC Santa Barbara, and Chumlee remained in Las Vegas to take care of business. He expressed on social media his desire for the time and space apart to be worthwhile. Despite the difficulty of being apart, Chumlee remained mostly silent as people continued to ask him questions. His once photo-filled internet life now featured just him. Concerns were heightened by the lack of sound. Although his charming persona on Pawn Stars never failed to put a smile on people's faces, he appeared to be going through a difficult patch in his personal life. Not even the bright light of publicity helped. Death speculation and a serious wake-up call in 2014, alarming death rumors circulated online. At the young age of 31, Chumlee allegedly passed away after a heart attack, according to a website. Many were devastated. Soon, the news spread like wildfire. On the internet, people began to leave condolences and share memories. Yet that was completely untrue. Chumlee was still alive and well. The initial website that spread the myth later removed it, acknowledging their error. Wishing us a long and prosperous life indefinitely was Chumlee's Twitter joke about it. Then Rick Harrison stepped in to put a stop to the falsehoods as well. He assured everyone that Chumlee was doing well and boasted about being in the healthiest state of his life. However, a portion of the plot was based on reality. More recently, Chumlee has begun to prioritize his health. Somebody has to change by 2013, according to Chumlee. The burden he was bearing was beginning to frighten him. Tragically, his father passed away at the young age of 54 due to pancreatic cancer, barely 2 weeks prior to the airing of Pawn Stars. It was a devastating blow to Chumlee. The same future was not what he desired. Consequently, he became very serious. "My dad died from pancreatic cancer at 54, he informed the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I am avoiding red meat and ensuring that I consume plenty of vegetables." He started adjusting his way of life slightly. Although he appeared healthier and happier to his fans, the mental and emotional burden of his father's death and the pressures of fame never completely lifted. He overhauled his eating habits and began exercising 6 days a week. Red meat went off his diet, began incorporating more veggies into his diet and drinking more juice. Chumlee dropped 75 pounds in a year. Because of this adjustment, he was even able to take pleasure in an attractive activity. His hovercraft could only hold 250 pounds. He was able to go on it after losing weight. At first glance, everything appeared to be going swimmingly. Slowly but surely, Chumlee regained her weight. He became approximately 350 pounds by January of 2019. It had more to do with more than his appearance. The focus was on his emotions. Anxiety set in. He visited a Nevada bariatric clinic this time around rather than attempting to cure everything on his own. Some assistance was what he sought. He wished for a transformation that would last. He did anything significant as a result of that choice. The gastric sleeve procedure? The life-altering operation. Chumlee realized he needed a change in approach when his weight surpassed 350 pounds. He went with gastric sleeve surgery, a method for surgically reducing stomach size. Chumlee began to rapidly reduce her weight following the operation. Over 160 pounds have been shed by October 2021. At his leanest, he weighed around 190 pounds. Those who followed him on Instagram saw a dramatic shift. Although not everyone was aware of the procedure, he appeared completely different in one photo he shared. As a result, his newfound slender physique astonished several. Maintaining a healthy weight has never been easy for Chumlee. His weight, he said, fluctuated wildly, sometimes by as much as 100 pounds in a year. He knew that kind of transformation wasn't good for him. It was for this reason that he sought medical attention. He had had enough. It was not an easy road to recuperation after surgery. He needed to change his diet, get better at healing, and generally look after himself better. He was not, however, acting alone. Those who cared about Chumlee were rooting for him. Many fans also took note. "Never allow this world to change you," one supporter commented. "Your purpose in life is to make a difference." His slimmer physique and Gucci pants were among the many compliments on his new style. On the whole, supporters were proud. However, others had conflicting feelings. Someone was battling back and coming out on top. Chumlee appeared assured and content by 2022. His style was on point, and he was venturing into uncharted territory by attending conventions and trading cards. A man who was clearly happy, healthy, and living life to the fullest could be seen on his Instagram. Even though he gained some weight again, he appeared healthy and happy still. Things were more challenging because of the spotlight. Others took note and commented whenever Chumlee's weight changed, but he persisted nevertheless. He was aware of his experiences. Dealing with legal issues, body image challenges, and difficult personal times may be quite challenging. Happiness, success in business, and his health were now his top priorities. Fans could also notice the change. Chumlee was both comfortable and pleased in a picture from the year 2023. His struggle with weight has never been easy, and even after surgery, he still didn't see immediate results. Consistent work is required. The important thing is that Chumlee has been consistent in standing up for himself. His supporters are clearly still behind him, whether they're commenting to compliment his new style or to cheer him on. In spite of everything, he's giving it his all, and his radiant face is proof. Of course, he wasn't the only one whose weight loss was in the news. A devastating event in 2016 stunned his legion of followers who had hoped he was finally turning a fresh leaf. The day that Chumlee's world turned upside down. Disputes involving legislation. You chump. In 2016, everyone was taken aback by the carefree and entertaining Pawn Star's character. During a sexual assault investigation that year, police raided his residence and detained him. However, a new development occurred. Drugs and firearms were discovered by the police instead of evidence of the attack. Due to a lack of evidence, Chumlee was not charged with any sex charges. Even still, the arrest was a major setback. His accustomed television audience witnessed a whole new side of him. Disappointment was widespread. Serious charges were now against the man who had been making people laugh every week. He was taken into custody and booked for possession of illicit substances and firearms. Fans' preconceived notions were at odds with that portrayal. Now that his acts had actual repercussions, Chumlee's innocent comedic persona didn't help matters. This was only the first step on a lengthy path through the legal system. The story went viral, and soon enough, everyone was wondering what Chumlee was actually like. That was the turning point in his life and career. Chumlee was faced with a decision following his detention. He had two options: either negotiate a plea bargain or contest the charges in court. He opted for the second choice. A plea bargain was acceptable to Chumlee. The possession of illicit firearms and narcotics were charges to which he confessed. His punishment wasn't light, but he avoided jail time by doing this. For 3 years, he was subject to probation and ordered to attend counseling. It was a difficult period. Even if the sexual assault charges were dropped, the harm was still there. Many of his admirers were still confused about what had transpired, even though the evidence wasn't sufficient to press charges. Even though it can be difficult to prove assault in court, the incident leaves a lasting impression on victims. Some thought it was strange that they were actually seeing the identical Chumlee they had seen on television. Chumlee's dark side is upsetting because he seems so cheerful and fun on the show. A large number of admirers agreed with that source. In actual life, he appeared to be someone different from how he appeared on film. That reputation stuck with him even after the court drama subsided. However, Chumlee was nonetheless granted a second opportunity. He was released from prison. He was given the opportunity to remain on the show and demonstrate his potential for improvement. However, he was far from out of legal peril just yet. Weapons, cautions, and a steep ascent back up. The cops found a lot of stuff, and Chumlee had to give it all up. Among these were narcotics and a large quantity of firearms. Not all of them were lawful. 2.2 to 3 caliber rifles and an assault-style weapon called an MP5 were among the stolen items. There were registered firearms and unregistered firearms. Because of that, the situation became even riskier. He was advised to remain quiet till 2019. The most negative aspect of his record would disappear if he adhered to the regulations and maintained his sobriety. A misdemeanor charge lingered following those years of good behavior. Although it was a significant victory, the recollection of his arrest remained. Even outside of court, Chumlee had supporters. He amassed an impressive following on Instagram, with more than 800,000 followers. He connected with his fans, promoted his candy store, and shared entertaining moments on the site. Prior to his imprisonment, he gained fame as a comedian known for his wacky antics and corny jokes. Now, though, opinions about him had shifted. A few remained on the sidelines. Others exercised greater caution. His reputation has grown beyond Pawn Stars. There was a lengthy and complicated case that it was associated with. However, Chumlee persisted in proceeding ahead. It appeared that things were finally coming to a head in 2024. Fresh programs, candy stores, and long-lost acquaintances. Chumlee returned in 2024 with a bang. Reimagined as Pawn Stars Do America, he made an appearance on the show. The group went on a cross-country tour this time to connect with fans and check out cool stuff. The April episode Minneapolis Mementos concluded the second season. Seeing old acquaintances in unfamiliar settings was well received. Fans took note of Chumlee's return, although he wasn't primarily concerned about television. He continued to operate his confectionery store, Chumlee Sweets, on the roadside. Still active in the business world is Austin Russell, aka Chumlee. Sure, he's in the company of some very astute business people. Actually, he's launching a confectionery shop in the heart of Las Vegas. This store is located directly across from the world-famous Las Vegas pawn shop. A life-size statue of Chumlee greets customers as they peruse the aisles of name-brand confectionery. However, not everyone was won over. According to one comment on TripAdvisor, the experience fell short of my expectations. No way it is worth a special trip. That review was posted in February 2024, but the shop is still open. Most visitors probably just hope to see Chumlee in person. He's not there every day, but the shop is a reminder of how far he's come. And through all of this, Chumlee has stayed close with Rick Harrison. Rick, who has faced his own family drama, is still close to Chumlee. The two are often seen together sharing jokes and funny moments. In one video, Chumlee even played a prank by giving Rick a sweet coffee loaded with vanilla syrup. Rick hated it, but fans loved the moment. Then in another 2024 video, Chumlee was seen showing off some Japanese Pokemon cards that popped up online. The clip was posted on his Instagram account, Chumlee Collects, and fans were surprised to see how thin he looked. His new look was thanks to bariatric surgery he had back in 2021. Before that, he weighed 350 pounds and struggled with his health. His goal with the surgery was to open new doors and enjoy life more. After the surgery, Chumlee lost around 150 pounds. According to People, Chumlee had tried to lose weight naturally for years. He would lose some, then gain it back. His weight would go up and down by as much as 100 pounds. He called it a years-long battle. But now he seems to be keeping the weight off and doing things he couldn't before. Pokemon collecting is one of those things. It's a big part of his life now, and he's even attending events and conventions where he shows off his collections. His Instagram posts about collectibles are fun and full of energy. He talks about card rips, rare items, and even runs giveaways. Chumlee has gone from a troubled past to a new chapter, one filled with cards, joy, and a lot more smiles. Chumlee's busy year on the road and on screen. In April 2024, Chumlee was seen in Detroit, but it wasn't just a casual visit. He was there filming Pawn Stars Do America, the popular spin-off of the original Pawn Stars series. The new show follows Chumlee, Rick, and Corey as they travel across the country looking for rare and quirky treasures. Instead of staying at their famous pawn shop in Las Vegas, the crew visits different cities and meets sellers from all over. In Detroit, they filmed an episode that aired on April 3, 2024. Fans got to see Chumlee back in action, joking with customers and checking out cool items. Season 2 of the show didn't just stop in Detroit. The team also went to cities like Boston, Tampa, and Santa Fe. Chumlee is still part of the original show too. Season 22 of Pawn Stars is available on Amazon Prime and includes episodes like The Pawnerator and Battle Pawn. Whether he's filming in Las Vegas or traveling across the country, Chumlee continues to be a key part of the Pawn Stars team. His love for collectibles and his natural humor make him a fan favorite, even after everything he's been through. And that's not the only thing that has changed for him lately. From romance to reality. What happened with Olivia? Chumlee's personal life also changed a lot. He used to be with Olivia Radamon. They got engaged in 2018 when he gave her a diamond ring. She stood by him through his legal troubles, which made their bond look strong. But by 2020, something shifted. They quietly went their separate ways. As of 2024, they're not together. And Chumlee hasn't said much about it. There are no new posts of Olivia on his Instagram, and fans noticed that all past pictures of her were removed. It's clear he wants to keep that part of his life private now. Maybe the public pressure made things harder. After everything he went through, from court dates to health issues, he might just want some peace. While Rick Harrison is out enjoying Paris with his new partner, Chumlee seems to be flying solo. He hasn't shown off a new love interest, but that doesn't mean he's alone. He still posts about his dog, his toys, and the people he meets at events. He's living life differently now, quietly, calmly, and on his own terms. That shift from drama to peace has been a big part of his journey. After so much chaos, it looks like Chumlee finally found a better rhythm. Still a star, still a fan favorite. Chumlee's fans are happy to see him smile again. In August 2024, he shared a photo with WWE legend Charles Wright, also known as The Godfather. The two posed happily together, with Chumlee holding a cute little dog. It was a sweet and lighthearted moment. Chumlee was also promoting a Pawn Stars spin-off episode featuring the wrestling star. That photo said a lot without many words. After facing public shame and private heartbreak, Chumlee is back, and he's not hiding anymore. He now posts regularly on two Instagram accounts, his main one and Chumlee Collects. He uses both to share his hobbies and connect with fans. He seems more sociable, more present, and more honest than ever. In the past, his legal issues made him go silent on social media. His posts were rare, and when they did come, they felt distant or sad. But now, the mood has changed. He's posting happy updates, attending Comic-Con, visiting the Pokemon World Championship in Hawaii, and showing off cool finds. In one post, a fan wrote, "Don't ever let this world change you. You were made to change this world." And honestly, that fits. Chumlee's story isn't perfect, but it's real. And that's what makes people root for him even more. Working again, living again. Chumlee isn't just showing off collectibles. He's also back in the pawn world. In one recent post, he sat at a table in a different pawn shop, just working for a day. In front of him was a lineup of Pokemon cards. He looked comfortable and focused, like he was doing what he truly enjoyed. Whether it's Pikachu, Charmander, or Snorlax, Chumlee's love for these cards is clear. He's also been hosting Pokemon giveaways and sharing photos of fans dressed in Pikachu outfits. It's a fun side of him that fans didn't always get to see. And it's a big change from the man who once made headlines for the wrong reasons. Now he's having fun, dressing up in themed hoodies and talking about collector buzz. One of his recent posts asked if the new Prismatic Evolution series of Pokemon cards would live up to the hype. This is a man who's truly into his world of collecting. It's not just a hobby, it's part of his healing. He's not trying to be perfect, he's just showing people who he is now. A guy who made mistakes, but who's trying to do better. A guy who still shows up on Pawn Stars, now in its 23rd season as of July 2024, and still gets laughs from fans. Chumlee may not be the same person he was years ago, but maybe that's a good thing, because this new version seems happier, healthier, and finally at peace with who he is. Comic-Con, collectibles, and living his best life. In July 2024, Chumlee showed up at San Diego's Comic-Con, and fans were thrilled. He posted updates on his Chumlee Collects Instagram account, wearing a fun and colorful bathrobe with a design that looked like 1980s graffiti art. He looked healthy and relaxed, sipping coffee from a cute Japanese mug and showing off his Pokemon cards. Chumlee shared his excitement about Comic-Con, writing, "San Diego, Comic-Con 2024. Was amazing. Met some awesome people that I've looked up to for many years, and made stronger bonds with people I have met more recently." He ended his post with, "Now it's time to get back to the week and open up some Pokemon cards." He even added hashtags like #Chumlee and #PawnStars. One fan commented, "Chum's voice is so soothing. We should get an audiobook from him." It's clear Chumlee has left his dark days behind. Now he's doing wholesome things and enjoying life, playing with cards, relaxing with coffee, and showing off his dog. At Comic-Con, he even met some of his heroes, including Todd McFarlane, Mitsuhiro Arita, and Stan Sakai. These are big names in the world of comics and Pokemon, and meeting them was a big moment for Chumlee. His smile said it all. He's no longer the guy who made headlines for the wrong reasons. He's happy, active, and sharing more of himself with fans again. Dancing dreams, podcast plans, and a life still in motion. In January 2025, Chumlee revealed something new. He wants to join Dancing with the Stars. During a taping of his upcoming podcast, Pawn After Dark, which he hosts with Rick Harrison, he talked about the idea with UFC legend Chuck Liddell. Liddell had competed on the show in 2009 and gave Chumlee some advice. He told him to work hard and train like an athlete. Chumlee replied, "That's good advice. I definitely will practice even before I get there." It's a surprising turn, but one that shows Chumlee's always looking for something new. Aside from dancing, Chumlee still runs his collectible business and makes appearances. And his net worth proves it's all paying off. He's worth $5 million. And a big part of that comes from Pawn Stars, where he earns $25,000 per episode. He also made money from his own company, which sells merchandise and handles public events. Chumlee even sold his Las Vegas home in 2019 for $1.375 million. The 2-acre property had a guest house, a pool, and a party room with a stripper pole. He originally bought the home in 2012 for $1.1 million. These days, though, his lifestyle looks a lot calmer. While Rick Harrison is busy with headlines and controversy, Chumlee seems focused on peace. He may not post every day, but when he does, it shows a man who has grown. He's still funny, still a collector, and still beloved by fans. Whether it's Pokemon cards or a dance floor, Chumlee keeps surprising us. And fans are definitely still watching. Do you think Chumlee has what it takes to win Dancing with the Stars if he gets the chance? What's your favorite Chumlee moment from Pawn Stars or his life off-screen? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from Hollywood's fascinating history. See you next time. Thanks for watching.